Hello everyone and welcome back to Combat Mission Battle for Normandy, where today we join the 12th SS, the Hitlerjugend Division, in taking back East Buron from the Canadians. This is north of Caen. They captured the town with infantry and they have probably reinforced with anti-tank guns and possibly even armor. It is the task of a somewhat depleted company of Panzergrenadiers along with a platoon of Panthers and StuGs to take the village back. I say depleted, we're approximately 60% strength, as you can see from the state of these infantry squads. Instead of 9 or 10 men, they've only got 6, sometimes even just 5, 7 or 8 guys left. So infantry is kind of my weak spot here. I have a lot of armor, 5 Panthers, 4 StuGs. Point is, we don't know exactly what the enemy has. Approximately a company of infantry probably, but we don't know what they have anti-tank wise or armor wise. And the main difficulty we face here is covering this large stretch of open ground to the village. Knowing that they're gonna have at least some kind of anti-tank capability makes it extremely dangerous to move out into the open with these tanks. And look, when you look at the terrain, you can see that on the left there's a bit of a dip here, but it is in full view of that village and of that orchard to the right. So if they've hidden anti-tank guns here, this would be an absolute killing field. That's why I'm not going on the left here. It would be nice if I were able to get some tanks over here where they could pop up over on this ridge and get shots at whatever's in there, but getting there, I'm afraid, would be suicide. Another obvious feature here is this forest. It's basically the only cover I've got between me and the village. I'm going to use that to spot or attempt to spot enemy units inside the village or the orchard and get either artillery on them or use my armor to take them out. Now, to begin with, I've only moved up or planned to move up this forward observer squad. They're going to see what they can see, and depending on what they spot or don't spot, I'm going to change my plans. I'm going to pop these Panthers up just before the ridgeline because there's a bit of a elevation in the terrain here, and I'm hoping that I can use that to put my Panthers in a hull down position where they can engage the enemy and perhaps take a couple of hits on the chin without being destroyed immediately. But without further ado, let's start off by sending that forward observer forward and getting a lay of the land here. The village itself is fairly small. It's just that it's just surrounded by open ground. I think my best bet would be, once I've made sure it's safe to move, would be to move up here on the right and attack the village from right here. Hopefully the anti-tank defenses will be less strong here and will be at the same elevation as the village, so there's no nasty surprises coming over a hill. We can see all of the village from here. So let's see how it goes. Forward observer is moving up. Hopefully they don't get spotted immediately and shot. And this Panther should be able to just peek over. I'm going to take a risk opening up. The thing is, we're at about, I believe, a kilometer distance, of the village, so there's not as much danger in having the commander pop his head out, unless there's a really good Canadian sniper in there somewhere. The main threat right now is AT guns and tanks, and having the commander out here will help with spotting those. For observer is in position, should have clear line of sight of most, if not all, this area. I think they might be sitting front of some trees, making it hard to spot. I could risk moving them up a little bit, but I'm gonna make them crawl because I really don't want them to get spotted and taken out. And hopefully that'll enable them to see a little bit more of the surrounding area. We're already getting some kind of a spot here, and that's pretty unfortunate because that seems to be an armored vehicle. Which would mean that I've done good not to charge into the open with my tanks yet. Let's see. This Panther should just be able to see that. Let's move him up just a tiny bit more. Or actually, let's do that in unison. Let's make sure the enemy doesn't just have a single target. Let's make sure that if the enemy opens fire, we have multiple guns to fire back. A little bit back. That up here. There it is. Yeah, that's spotted by these guys. I'll have them on a target arc right here, by the way, so that they don't open fire if they spot infantry. I don't think they will, but I really wouldn't want them to get spotted. Knowing where he is a great plus for us. Let's move the Panthers up over the ridge. Preferably just with their turrets. The turrets poking out. So that they can see over the ridge, but the enemy just has their turrets to shoot at. See if we spot him. He should be in kind of in full view right now. Let's see. There we go. Okay, we got the first shot off. That's extremely important here. Okay, it went into the trees, but nevertheless. He's the only one that's seeing him though, unfortunately. I hope if and when he opens fire, the rest of the tanks will see him. There we go. Great shot. And now he sees him as well, I think. Yeah. I don't know if he's dead, but I think he will be soon. And we're not receiving any fire, suggesting that that's the only vehicle or AT gun that has a shot at this particular position, which is interesting because I believe that tree line I would have thought might contain some AT guns or tanks as well, and maybe behind this house or something. Would have had some shots up at my tanks right now, but not receiving any fire, which bodes well. I'm not gonna immediately move them forward too far. But it does bode well for the future. Because if it's safe here, it should be safe all the way up to here. Right up until the point that you go past the edge of this forest. At which point new threats will open up. But if we could move through here safely, enter into this little orchard with infantry, close in, and overwhelm the enemy. The problem is if they have a company of infantry and it's at full strength or near full strength, they will outnumber us infantry-wise. So we will have to make use of those StuGs and those tanks to blast our way through defensive positions. And be careful with the infantry. And it's something I often neglect to do. I often hold the tanks back a little bit too far because I'm afraid to lose them. And the infantry suffers for it. So let's see if I can try to do that a little bit better this time. We do have the infantry in half tracks, which has several benefits. One being that they have some extra firepower. Matter of fact, this is even a 37mm gun, and this one, the commander's half track. I'm not sure if every commander has that. No, that's a regular machine gun. And that's a regular machine gun as well. The half tracks do seem to have a full crew, so 2 guys instead of just a driver, which means I won't have to leave a squad in the half track to make sure the gun is manned. Also have 2 of these Stummels with 75mm, which will be handy once we get into the town proper. Their high explosive rounds are very good for clearing defensive positions. So yeah, I'm gonna obviously keep the infantry in their half tracks while they're crossing here. But before I start anyone moving, I'm gonna move these machine guns into the forest. Set them up so that they can cover the advance along with the tanks. See where they have a clear field of fire. I think right here would do. There is obviously the threat that they're gonna get overpowered by enemy fire, in which case I'd have to move them back, but I'd really like to have something more than just the Panthers watching that orchard and that edge of the village there, just in case we do get shot at. We can always move them back into the half tracks and move them up along with the rest of the force. And having some MGs will be great for suppressing AT guns or enemy machine guns if they do pop up. Now I did park up the StuGs at the edge of the forest here because I was thinking about maybe squeezing some through some of the trees here, but 1, that will be extremely difficult, and 2, I'm not sure what kind of advantage it would give me if I've already got the Panthers up here. So I think I'm just going to use them to reinforce those Panthers on the flank and just throw all my weight onto this right flank, because I don't see what I would gain from going up the left flank and probably walking into enemy AT fire. As those guys are deployed, I'm gonna actually move up the Panthers a little bit further, see if they can see some more. So far so good. I really was not expecting we'd get the first shot off at whatever was in here. I thought we'd get shot at by AT guns. In this case it was actually armor. And we'd possibly take a hit, hopefully a non-fatal one, and then the rest of the Panthers would be able to return fire. But as it turned out, this commander right here has got some keen eyes. He was able to spot that, maybe with help of the radio contact with this forward observer team. And he took it out with the help of his colleague over here. These guys actually only have a driver. That's unfortunate. There's actually something to be said for reinforcing these squads with the drivers of the half trucks if I don't need them anymore, because these squads are really depleted. Oh, we've got another spot. It's a tank destroyer. It looks like what are these things? Oh, kind of a Wolverine, but since the Canadians are using it, I guess it would be a Achilles. It's got a very potent 76mm gun that will be able to deal with my Panthers, possibly even from the front. the right angle. Thing is, my forward observer has spotted him, but the panzers have not. They are in view. I could be a bit cheeky here. Just give them an area target. Hopefully rattle that crew. I mean, technically, this guy would be able to radio the position through to these guys, so I guess it's not really cheating. Let's see what happens. Alright. They're frightened at least. He's reloading, he's already fired. He's firing. Let's cancel those targets until we spot him again. So that's one tank destroyer taken out here, one more over here. I don't know what kind of numbers are generally in Canadian tank destroyer units, but it's at least 2 of them here. I'm really hoping there's not too many more, because as long as those are in there, I am not comfortable moving up with my flimsy half tracks, or even with my Panthers, because these 76mm guns are really dangerous. It would be best if I just set up a huge firing line here. If anything does pop up, it gets completely overwhelmed by the sheer superiority in numbers I have here. Or I hope to have here. Obviously there could be a lot more tanks than I'm fearing there are. Open them up too. Make sure they get the best possible view over the battlefield. Because inside of those tanks it's like you're in a tin can. It's very difficult to see out properly. Okay, how's the MGs doing? We have a very limited line of sight here, so I'm gonna move them up a little further. Set up the MG over there. These guys should have a better field of fire, I think. Really? Oh boy. Yep, there we go. Spotted again. It seems like we got the first shot off again. Boom. Yep, he's taken out. This is some excellent progress. Those tanks were in a really dangerous position. Had I moved up without checking them first. See, he's deployed. He's right behind a tree. I don't think he can see a lot. Oh, he actually can. Okay, I'll leave him there. So that's a kind of a base of fire setup here. Now what I could do is move one of these half tracks over here by itself. See if it draws any fire. I think it shouldn't, because again, if the Panthers aren't drawing fire from AT guns right now, they can be seen by all of this line. So once they go past here, that they should only become less visible. And it's only once they get past that orchard that there's new threats. Or if there's something hiding in the back of this orchard, I guess. If there's nothing over there, we would have spotted that. So yeah, I'm gonna move up one of those health tracks, put just one guy's life at risk, to make sure that I'm not wrong here. I think those infantry contacts are just a crew bailing out. I don't think it's any infantry. I am kind of worried though that there might be some artillery spotters or something in some of these houses. It could make my life really difficult. But we haven't seen any spotting rounds starting to fall, so if they could see these tanks, they're not calling in any artillery right now. So far the test is going great. It stays that way. Start moving up the infantry. Let's get them ready, since we don't have all day to crack this nut. Okay, let's take first platoon to go first. Sure, they can't wait to go. Now, historically, I believe there's some very bad blood between the 12th SS and the Canadians. Because of incidents in which the SS killed Canadian prisoners of war, and afterwards the Canadians would often kill SS prisoners they took. But fortunately, this game doesn't model those kinds of war crimes. We're just here to replay a battle. Actually debating on whether to give them an extra Panzerfaust. They have one. It's not too much of an ask to have them carry just an extra one. Unfortunately, apparently not all of these half trucks have one. But at least one of those squads has an extra Panzerfaust now. Okay. This guy has gotten here safe. Well, since he has, I mean, why not push our luck here? See how far he gets. Let's just imagine this is the guy from the Stalingrad movie that fired his gun early, and as a result had to be the first one in on the assault and got killed. He made a mistake and he's paying for it now. Yeah, if he pulls it off and survives, that's his death repaid right there. To be honest, with this kind of a line of tanks and StuGs facing me, I think I'd think twice if I were a Canadian in there, pondering on whether to open fire or not. Now we have already wasted like 12 minutes, so we're gonna have to expedite here, but I'm really glad I took my time here and set up there, because it could have taken some serious losses from those Achilles tank destroyers, if that's what they are. There's a bit of a dip in the ground here. Let's move him up right up to this fence. If he makes that, I'm moving up the first platoon. Right up to the edge of the forest there, or the orchard. Since it's been safe so far, I'm gonna move them up the first part of the way into the dip in the terrain. I'm very surprised they don't have some kind of AT in there, so, you know, create some kind of a crossfire with those tank destroyers. A wasted opportunity, if you ask me. Maybe they realized though that I was able to set up here at a standoff distance, which is why they hid in the woods. But they didn't hide well enough. Germans would obviously have a lot more experience with hiding their tanks in the woods because of the constant Allied air attacks. Which, given the pretty clear day here, I'm surprised they haven't started nuking these tanks right here yet. He's still okay. I'm really surprised. Thing is, once we go past here, there's probably gonna be something in those hedgerows. An AT gun or something, it's gotta be. But I'm not gonna use this guy here to draw that out. I'm just gonna move the infantry in and they should spot. Hopefully, they should spot it. Kind of stuck on their colleagues here. AI path fighting for you. I think I'm gonna set up the other platoons as well, so that when I need them I can move them up quickly. Right, this should be second platoon. Move them up right behind the tanks. Once we've got a foothold in that orchard, they will move up. And they will be our right hook going in here. I'll probably move the tanks or the StuGs up with them. And then finally we've got third platoon in reserve here. Wait, who's this then? Oh, that's the weapons platoon. He can move up right here. I think could fit one machine gun in there, probably not two, so I'll take back this guy. He's earned his medal, so that I can move the machine guns if and when needed. It's just really scary making my guys move over this open ground, not knowing what's in there, but so far so good. Move the tanks a little bit further, get the best possible shot they can. Oops, what's going on here? I think when I move the armor I'm gonna leave the StuGs here for now and move just the Panthers. Panthers have the armor to take a hit, and these StuGs were meant as tank destroyers anyway. Going the wrong way, Hans. I'm not actually sure at what point I want to be disembarking. I think I want to get real close up to that forest before I do. Start moving some of the tanks down there as well. Start with 2. Leave the rest up there as fire support for now, just in case the enemy counterattacks or something, or new reinforcements move in. And I'll leave the machine guns up here as well, just in case. I have some artillery, by the way, some 105s, and actually mortars too. Didn't know that, but the 105s, mortars, which I haven't used yet. I could toss some onto this forest, but I kind of just want to move in there. And I can use the artillery on the village proper. Okay. Let's move up right to this fence. Leave the half tracks there. And let the infantry move the rest of the way by itself. I hope there's no more AT or tank destroyers hidden in there that can now somehow see me while I can't see them. It'd be a true shame. I also hope the enemy doesn't open up with some murderous MG fire the moment I disembark my troops. There's a lot of question marks in this assault. A lot of things that could go wrong. Alright, first platoon is out of the half tracks. And it hasn't come under fire so far. Let's move the tanks up behind them. See if we can clear this forest. We're really low on infantry here. These guys only have 5 people in one squad. Let's have them stay back there, fire support. We also have the half tracks, which do provide an extra MG fire support. And the tanks, obviously. Did I see a shot coming in here, or is it just... may have been just this line. Now we might encounter what's left of the crews of these vehicles. In the woods, and there might be some more infantry, I'm not sure. We have gotten there without any trouble so far. Let's move up. Hang on. Taking fire. Let's close these guys up. The infantry can spot for them. There's no need to risk. I'm actually not sure what that was. Kind of seemed too small to be an AT gun, but it's not shooting at the infantry. Kind of gotta be. Fortunately, it didn't do any serious damage. Let's see what it did. No, it didn't even degrade anything, so probably small caliber. Here, another one. An AT rifle, maybe? I don't think the Canadians have those. Just a rifle shooting at the commander, that's possible too. Because the commander was sticking its head out. Another one. Targeting the gunners here, I think. And somehow we're not spotting them. Quite a lot of fire coming in, and we're not seeing where it's coming from. I'm not gonna have to turn out just yet until I know where that's coming from and what it is. And with these guys over here, I think it's time to move up second platoon to the edge of the forest or the orchard. So we don't really have a lot of time to waste. I'm actually gonna give them some standoff distance. But I'm not gonna move them past where we can see. Or past the point where any units in here could target them. Basically 2/3 of the way up this field is safe. Beyond that, we're gonna have to clear before we move up the half tracks. And I want to have them there because I won't really have time to move them up later. We've only got 40 minutes left. And let's move up the rest of the Panthers with them. Leave the StuGs up here just in case we need more fire support. Let's hope we won't. And we'll see what the infantry can find in these woods. I'm really worried about the fire coming in and we're just not spotting it. We're not seeing where it's coming from. Moving into these forests. Hang on. It sounded like a 50 cal. No, not a 50 cal. What is that? Taking casualty here. And they're not seeing where it's coming from. The hell? How are you not seeing that? It's a it a vehicle of some kind? I don't know, but I'm moving out of there. No idea. Okay, you know what? I guess I should have prepared this area with artillery before. That was my mistake. Let's give him the 120s. Actually, I kind of want it a bit further back. We could. Right about there. It's kind of danger close, but actually, let's not make it long. Come on. Oh, God. There we go. Heavy, medium length. Let's see. With that kind of fire coming in, you'd think they'd see what it was, at least. There we go. Seems to be infantry. Just a rifleman. What can we do? I could turn out these gunners, but I don't think they'd see much. They'd probably just be watching the trees here. Not really seeing through the forest as I want them to. These guys are moving up. Let's see if we can build up fire superiority here. I can see him but can't shoot him. Very strange. There you go. Can anyone else see him? No. Good area target here. We do have the ammo, so we might as well, I guess. These guys can't see. Could you theoretically... Oh, they could. That's kind of cool, actually. Did they target? There you go. I didn't think they would be able to. He can. Or he can. Okay, great. In that case, I'm going to turn out the gunners here. Once we start receiving more fire, they'll probably be able to help out. I do hope these tanks don't fire into my own infantry here, trying to hit this hedgerow. It's a real risk. They're not opening fire. Not sure why. Alright, now it's just an exchange of fire. We're not getting much out of it, and I don't want to move my infantry into that orchard. If they're sitting ducks like that. I mean, these guys got absolutely destroyed just sitting there. Not too happy about that. Okay, I'm gonna move up the Panthers to the point that hopefully they'll be hulled down from that hedgerow, but they will be able to spot. Right about there. Same here. Because if I can, the earlier I can clear that, the better. So I'll be able to move up the infantry on the right. Actually have an alternative to moving through this orchard, which so far isn't really working out. Okay, he can see. It's amazing how far they can see through this orchard. These trees are really neatly planted, so there's kind of really clear sight lines especially like this. Not really diagonally, but apparently they're still seeing things. Yeah, there's still some pretty clear sidelines here. We can just move up to the right point. Thing is, if that's the case, I think what I want to do is move right to where this guy died with one of the Panthers. Let's clear that order, he's not firing anyway. Because I should have examined this orchard a little bit closer. It's of course, it's planted, so it's not random like in forests, where you can, well, you can't see further than a couple meters in front of you. Right here you've got clear sight lines. I'm gonna use them if I can. Except they don't have an AT gun set up that I didn't see. Don't want the commanders to be out though, which they aren't. It seems worrying, but it's just rifle bullets bouncing off tank armor. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna cancel this. Because obviously the enemy is not here, they're in here and right here. Now that I've cancelled that, I'm gonna have to wait a little bit, and then I might be able to throw artillery on here. Fire if they can't see anything. Might want to try and move up more health trucks to where they can fire diagonally through these tree lines. So far it seems to be working out pretty good. There we go. How are the Panthers doing? None have been destroyed so far. I guess that's a good thing. Don't seem to have spotted anything either though. I'll keep moving them up. Kind of an angle. Hopefully enabling them to take some hits if they do come under fire. Actually move these tanks up a little bit further to where they can fire in a straight line into that hedgerow right there. See how the Canadians like that. I'll move this guy ahead here so these guys can recover their wounded squad mates in the cover from a tank. They did drive over the bodies, but I'm sure it's fine. Oh boy. Another man down. Yeah, they're really lining us up from there. I want to be able to shoot at that with the tank. I think I will. If we moved up just one hedgerow further. Okay, the fire's actually coming from over there. Let's tank in front of it. Let's see. Can you blast through? Let's see. I think you might be able to, but probably just too high and he's looking at leaves instead of under the trees. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And that basically means this is a no-go. I'm not gonna be able to move through without taking significant casualties. Yeah, if at all. Okay, these... Oh my god, that's horrible. The tank is in front of them now, but apparently still taking casualties. God, it's just completely taken out that squad. They're done. These guys too, taking serious casualties. Yeah, this is a no-go. I'm gonna call off this operation. They're just too easily able to fire through these trees without my armor being able to provide an answer. So I think the breakthrough is gonna have to be on the right here, which scares me because I have to expose my tanks here. Then again, I did intend to lose less infantry and be more aggressive with the tanks, so that's what I'm gonna do here. Move right up. Okay, they're shooting at the tank commanders now. Get in there. It's unfortunate. There we go. We spotted something. I think what this village needs is an abundance of artillery to fall down on it. Spotter can see quite a lot, but not exactly what I want him to see. Let's start the line here. See where we can stop it. If there's anything he can see. Really, can he? Oh, I saw something you could see over there. Yeah, right there. That's pretty much on point. Let's make that heavy, medium, medium. Let's see what kind of effect that has. Not receiving fire from here yet, but crossing this road is gonna be risky. There's no point at which you can't be shot at here. It's not in a dip or anything. Okay, I hope these guys have recovered somewhat from losing their commander. Let's move them up as well. This guy's slowly recovering his buddies. He'll just be a one-man MG team from now on. Matter of fact, since this guy can't fire through the trees here, why don't I slowly move him up here to peek around the corner? Movement here. Crap. They need to hide. Let's move the health truck to cover those guys. And let's make him hide in there. Trying to hit the infantry, but they can't through the tank. It's the Vickers up there, I think. Okay. Moment of truth. Will we get anti-tank guns once we peek around this corner? Why, hello there. Mr. Vickers machine gun. Meet Mr. Panther. You're lucky, son. This does bode well, though. Panther isn't being AT'd, so the only place that they could have AT is right here, or around the corner somewhere over here. If I can suppress that, whatever's in here, my infantry can move up right here. There we go. Let's actually have this guy. Over there. Onto the road. And ought to make him think twice. Plenty ammo in these tanks. We can afford to do this for a while. Artillery starting to come down. Stop him right there. He's somewhat effectively covering this squad. Still hiding. Let them get up so they treat the wounded. These guys are still okay. Seeing some small arms fire here and there. This guy's okay. This guy's okay. Pleasantly surprised. Guess they weren't expecting an attack from up here. Alright, this guy's pretty much useless here, so let's also have him cross the road. Set up here. I'm assuming that's my artillery, but probably it isn't. Looking at all these. Well, spotting rounds can be ineffective. That kind of seems larger than a 120mm mortar. Well, then again, we'll see. If it comes closer to my troops, I'll have to make them take cover again. Whoops. That guy's still there. None of these Panthers seem to have spotted him. Doesn't mean we can't order them to open fire. Let's give them another round of HE there. Just hitting the hedge, unfortunately. Just blasting their positions here. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. Rely on my armor and its firepower to do the job instead of on my infantry, because they don't have the strength. Especially now that I've lost a significant part of 1st Platoon in an inconsequential firefight at the edge of the orchard. Having moved up here, I think it's safe to remove this part of my fire support, move them up here. And I think what I want to do is move those MGs I've got, which are now in the forest, right up here. Set them up along this wall. So I'm gonna do that. up to the edge of the forest. Now your guys can hop right in. They're no use to me in the forest over here. Might eventually want to move him too. I think that's my artillery ranging in. I'm gonna leave this platoon here for now because they were basically already combat ineffective when we started, and they definitely are now. Okay, now I'm starting to worry. Is that my artillery? Or is it theirs? Assuming it's mine. Let's blast any area that's had people spotted in it. These Panthers aren't spotting them by themselves, but I can't afford to let the commanders take a peek, because that'll just be suicide. Let's blast anything in sight. Anywhere there might be Canadians hiding, take it the hell out. That on the way. It's time to move up second platoon. Pray that we can get them into the edge of the village, but not until we've cleared that. Let's get them up there though. Ready to move in. So far I'm surprised at the lack of enemy AT. Just the two Achilles in here. Okay, they're running, understandably. Only so much 75 HE you can take. So keep up the fire here. As a matter of fact, let's move one of these Panthers, this guy, even further to the right. So he can see even more of that little compound. Okay, that was that for the artillery, I think. Might as well finish the rounds we have. Okay, so that is enemy artillery. I was just confused because it was firing at the same time as mine. There we go. Just put everything we've got in there. Yep, okay. That artillery's ranging in on these guys here. Okay. Whole ass into whatever half track you can find. It's gonna hurt. That's my company commander just got hit, or my platoon commander just got hit. Let's hope they can get into cover. This is probably firing for effect right now. Be lucky to get them out alive. Didn't turn out, did you? Why did I think they can fire machine guns at tanks? I'm getting desperate here. Another contact there. The tanks can see him, so they're gonna get lit up. Oh boy. That was an AT gun. We just spotted. How did that not engage my Panthers earlier? Was it just waiting for the health trucks to come? There it is, right there. What the hell? That is a absolute priority target right there. You can't see it. It's in a reverse slope. It's obviously aimed this way, expecting me to be dumb enough to move up there. But it could be dangerous here as well if it turns around. I have to keep that in mind. I think the arrival of my health trucks has caused the enemy to open fire. You can see here. Which made sure that my Panthers got some spots, and there you go. It's a very bad day for the Canadians there. Let's also move the StuGs. Get absolute fire superiority here. As far as we didn't already have that. And keep in mind that there is a bloody AT gun right there. The infantry spotting him, probably because they're high up, but no one else is. Fortunately. Maybe this guy can. Could fire just next to it, not into it. I'd rather lose a StuG than a Panther. Let's even try to get up there to the point that he can actually fire at it. It's just gonna hit the road there. Yeah. Nope. Not gonna happen. Scared of that IT gun, I think. That's our artillery coming in. How did these guys fare? Okay, they actually got there alive. I am surprised. Right, let's have this guy move out, take care of the wounded there. Or there, actually. These guys take care of their own wounded. Oh, and he can see it. Good. And it's not turning. I'm not sure why they aren't, but they're not turning. Some rounds coming down here. That's probably a mortar, I think. Not sure. Could be one of those British 51mm mortars they have organically in their squads. Not sure if the Canadians copy the British. Oh god. No, that's a little bit more than a mortar on the front. Well, it could be a mortar. I think they're angry that we're forming up here. So let's not stay still for too long. Enemy appears somewhat agitated at our presence. Let's see. Our rounds are falling far right now. Let's see if we can't give the enemy taste of what is to come. Let's light the village right all the way up. Everything we've got into the back of that village while we assault the front line. And let's also move in 3rd and final platoon and the MGs to provide cover. And the Stummels, by the way. Can't forget about those. Can't believe they allowed me to do this. Not having any AT defenses focused at this area. Well, except for those two guys, but they got wrecked. Right, it'll take a while to move up. In the meantime, let's continue the assault here. Now, I'm still afraid that if I disembark my infantry and assault here, I'll get shot aside from this compound, so I want to make sure that's absolutely destroyed. Well, let's move up the armor and just fire into that hedgerow as long as it takes to silence that enemy squad or machine gun. Yeah, it's a pretty out-of-date fire mission there. Now I am slowly getting in range of possible enemy Piat teams, so caution is advised. Let's move this Panther up to the flank. This guy up here, this guy up the road. He's still alive apparently. Hopefully not for much longer. Now the one guy that got wounded here is only slightly wounded, so the health track protected him, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. Okay. There we go. Now let's absolutely blast this hedgerow to pieces. Make sure that no one is going to fire at us from there. Well, there might have actually have been something in that corner facing the field, so not too bad of a shot, I think. Bam. This carries slightly less ammunition. You have to be a little bit more careful with that. Keep it up for a little bit longer. Better to fire too much than too little. Is this AT gun repositioned? No, it has not. Or it seems to have, but it has gone into the hedgerow. I think it was behind it before. Hopefully that's gonna be enough to convince anyone in there that it's really not a good idea to fuck with the 12 SS. These guys are not doing their job. Don't know what they're doing, but I'm glad they aren't. We're moving up the final reserves from over there. Let's also place a few more shots into these hedgerows before I move up any infantry. It would be a shame to find out that there's still infantry lurking in there, waiting for my infantry to disembark from the health tracks. It would be a true shame. That will do. Okay. Now let's really quickly move the infantry. One to that hedgerow over there. To that house over there. Now let's actually move a second one to that hedgerow. Make sure they are able to get fire superiority if they do encounter enemies on the other side. I'm really hoping that I finally take care of this position. Can't be sure until they open up, if they do. Let's hope this is not a disaster. Holding our breath. Best to open them up, by the way. There we are. See, there were still guys left in that house. I did not believe there would be. Destroy that friggin' house, my boys. Also from the left here. That's why health trucks are so incredibly valuable here. Okay, let's actually stop firing or we'll start causing casualties in our own guys. We're so close right now. The enemy in that house is at least suppressed. Hopefully worse than that. I'm gonna wait with getting these guys out until the other health truck's there. Oh god, please don't do that. For God's sakes. I know it's scary and all. Still in there. Still over there. Okay, the gunner got taken out here. Easy, easy, easy. Easy does it. Okay, light this house the hell up. Okay, and move part of the armor up here. Actually, my plan to place the MGs here as fire support is kind of out of date now. Because we've already taken the edge of town. I'm gonna keep them in reserve right now. I don't really know what to do with them, but I am gonna move up the rest of the infantry. Because I think we're gonna need every man we can get. Getting into the actual village is gonna be a costly affair. Alright, these guys are both here, so let's move them up to the hedgerow. Oh, one of them got shot here. From up on the left here. Moving to the house. Yeah, as I was afraid, they spotted guys here, and that's why I wanted both squads here, right off the bat. Make sure we got fire superiority. Which we do. That's great. Gun is kind of combat ineffective there. It's just fine by me. Let's move the Stummels up. We're getting into the part of the fight where they're going to be really, really useful. One of those health tricks, by the way, had a 37mm gun. It's this one. So that's also very useful here. Even though it's not as useful as a 75 on the Stummels. Okay, how are we doing here? These guys have gotten in. Some spots over here. I want to stay back now until the infantry or the artillery is finished. This guy right all the way up to the hedgerow. Which he seems to be right now. So he's able to actually shoot through. Let's put one into this house here. Just in case there was anyone left there thinking about resisting. Let's also start moving up here. It would be nice to get the other platoon to attack from the right here. If you could make sure there's no infantry covering that right now. So let's actually have two of the Panthers move to the right to provide support there. Another StuG here on the left. And this Panther onto the road. I think I'm almost secure enough to start moving in here. Which I think I'm gonna do. With the squad that is least battered. It's kind of telling that our least battered squad is at half strength in this platoon. Goes to show what kind of situation we're in. This guy is one-man MG team, carrying almost 2,000 rounds of ammo, which explains why he can't run. Really didn't want to leave anything behind. Alright. Let's give them an old tap on the shoulder, see if they're home. Uh-oh. Oh, that's a tank crew. Which I was kind of expecting to encounter. Make sure they don't get the better of us with those revolvers. Actually, one stand gun too. Oh, oops, excuse me. Alright, that's enough. That's enough for that. Just put a couple in the hedgerow just in case. And I'll pretty happy with that. I mean, honestly, how could you miss that? Oh, you're the guy that lost the commander. I think he's a bit nervous. Right, that will do. That will do. Thank you very much. Time to move up the infantry. It's gonna be slow going here, and I've only got 15 minutes left. Progress has been slow but steady, I'd describe it as that. We're gonna have to do better than that though, if we want to win this one. Really gonna use the Panzerfaust here? blew them out. So they may only have a Stang gun and some revolvers, but at close range those are just as deadly as a machine gun. Still there. Looking through the fence is probably not the fastest way to go. Okay. Go. 37 will be extra fire support. And where'd I put the Stummels? Right here. So one on the right flank covering 3rd platoon and one here covering 2nd platoon. Taking more fire here. Might be able to use the Panther here to solve that problem. Oh dear. Wait a minute. What happened to the squad in here? Did they just not showing them as being in there anymore? Get out of there quickly. What the hell? They just become part of the group? They all die? God. Oh God, what have I done? What have I done? Everyone just die in there, oh my God. My poor infantry. These guys seem okay though, but I lost an entire squad there. These guys are moving into full view of whatever's up there, if there's anything there. Okay, move up the Panther. Can take a lot more of a hit than those half tracks, or the infantry for that matter. And these guys were on this side of the hedgerows, they were facing that way, they're really oriented towards here. Artillery is still coming now, by the way. We're almost into the mission objective, it seems. Or the objective area, which is this green area. But there's still a lot of enemies in there as well. I'm not sure we're going to be able to root them all out. Have we any way into this field? Afraid it appears not. On this side maybe? Yes, there's a way in there. I'm kind of afraid to move in with that house over there not cleared. This guy's up on this side to cover there. Guys surrendered? No, they haven't. So why are you not dead? There you go. It's a direct hit. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Where the hell is the enemy AT? And I guess they took this guy out. Probably Fiat or something. But other than that. Not sure if they took out that crew. Let's move through somewhat carefully. See if we can get a foothold here. This guy has received thousands of rounds. And these guys aren't taking good fire. Though they can be seen by half the village. some point, we're gonna have to go. What the hell's that? It's an AT gun or something? Get the hell out of there. Run, boys. Don't stay there. Get the hell out. There might be an AT gun like in here or something. Or a tank destroyer maybe? We could have gotten around the building there. These guys have Panzerfasts? Of course they don't. This guy do. Okay. I'd have to get... Oh, Christ. I told you to run 5 friggin' times. Oh, God. Screw it. We're gonna have to risk it. It's an AT gun, we can take it. If we don't, these guys are gonna get annihilated. And it's an AT gun. Surprise, surprise. They just get shot immediately? By what? Oh. Okay, upon reflection, I would like this here Panther to move up to the actual edge of this friggin' hedgerow. And just stick his gun through the hedge and blow everything up. You have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior. 75 mil HE. Well, can't quite hit that, but he can hit that. That's where machine gun is at. And this guy can worry about the AT gun. Go. We can now get back up to the hatch, I think, safely. Ish. How are you guys doing? Pretty shit. First platoon is not having the best day of his life. The Panthers, on the other hand, are having a field day. That, let's move someone in here, see what they can see from there. Small hole in here. Be able to cut through. There's some dead Canadians in there. The thing, we haven't really cleared the village at all. Cleared some of it. Majority still needs clearing. Let's also give this guy another shot or two. I'm kind of paranoid. There's still one in there too. Okay, move up further with the armor here. We can't afford to wait around for too much longer. Fortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to secure the entirety of the village. It's going to have to come down to us either winning by the enemy surrendering or scoring high on casualties, but I don't think we're going to take the entire village. As much as I'd like to. I don't have the infantry power to do so. Anyway, we do have to give it a try. This guy has cost the Third Reich so much ammunition. Just can't hit him. He can shoot back either, but don't seem to be able to get a shot in on him. There we go. Just roll your tank up to a house and stick the barrel through the window. Check if anyone's home. Seems to be the way. Still got one casualty they haven't taken care of here. It's right there. I think they're moving up to him. Whoa, hold on. Not sure I intended to give that order. The fact that you got there goes a long way to showing how clear this village really is. They're not showing a lot of will to fight here at this point. I'm gonna take the risk of moving up armor unprotected by infantry, which really you shouldn't do if you can help it at all, but I don't think I'm gonna take the village if I don't, so I'm gonna have to risk some casualties. Still some units in there. How are we doing over here? Pretty okay. Yeah, pretty good. With these guys into this building. Push as far forward as we possibly can. Ceasefire there. You're gonna hit your buddy. One more shot. No? Fine. There you go. Okay. So they're having a bit of difficulty getting a foothold. We have the fire support here to deal with the enemy. One StuG up here. Four minutes left. I'm not sure if we'll get any extra time. Let's leave that guy there to cover. If these guys hop onto the next compound. Gonna have to start taking risks here, even though I'd rather not. Infantry's gonna have to do some spotting here. Level everything, we've got the ammo. No need to no need to end this battle with any ammo left. Can't quite hit that, unfortunately. This guy will. Just using the old method of absolutely blasting everything to pieces. Ah, damn it. There's a lot of guys there. Keep running away. Absolutely leveling this village. In the 2 minutes that we've got left, might as well use up the last of our artillery. Oh, no, would really be useful. So let's not. To the second level there. Put him up in there. They've gotten up here alright. Put them up an extra little wall. Them up into that house. Them up to the next wall here. Just keep on pushing. Small arms fire. It sounds like a Sten gun. I don't like that. We're getting shot in the back here, aren't we? Oh no, from the side. You're still in that house? Yep. Just got the best shot at that. You do. Fire like that. My infantry's kind of in the open, but the moment the enemy opens fire, multiple tanks and StuGs return fire. Could you just... I can't quite hit that. You know what? You can. These Canadians do not want to give that city up. Gotta give it to him. Facing this kind of opposition, we're doing really well. Apart from the placement of some of their AT guns, that is. He's running away, probably can't blame him. These guys are still up though. Let's have them move in here. These guys have taken a casualty here. Sniper. Dear. Whatever will we do? Oh wait. I have tanks. Another contact. It would be a shame if a Panther blew your house apart, wouldn't it? Real shame. I think I can only hit the top floor though, that's unfortunate. What about you? Well, well, well. Can't hit that either. You can't hit the house. There we go. Okay. Time limit reached. We actually didn't quite, I think. Unless time was getting out of my eye. How do we do? It's a tactical victory. We didn't get the ground, which I was afraid of. That's a shame. However, casualty-wise, we suffered very few losses when considering that we were the attacking force. Enemy suffered 48 killed, 31 wounded, and lost 2 tanks, or tank destroyers rather. We lost 1 armored vehicle, which was a half track. And considering that maybe it was still not aggressive enough of those tanks and those StuGs, I could have maybe suffered 1 or 2 casualties among those vehicles, and a lot fewer in the infantry. But I think I'm doing better than in some previous missions, and I was using those tanks more offensively, more aggressively to save my infantry. The initial assault this first year was unsuccessful, but I did recognize that and build on that, move around the flank. Once I found out that there was nothing here in terms of AT tanks, I moved a big old firing line in and started just sweeping into the village in a sort of a skirmish line, which worked well enough, although it did cost me a lot more infantry casualties, as I feared. These guys are actually pretty far back. And the enemy has left some infantry, MG here and there. Matter of fact, they don't have any more AT, so all they had was 2 AT guns, one right here, I believe, one right there, and 2 Achilles tank destroyers. I believe that's what those were, right here. So realistically, they wouldn't have been able to hold out against a force like this, unless I just actually moved through this field in open order, which would have been suicide. And I didn't, so all they had to stop me here were those Achilles, since I spotted those early, because they were kind of in the open here. They're kind of easy to spot. Hadn't really hidden them well, hadn't given them proper cover or concealment, meaning my forward observer could spot them, relay their position to the tanks, which could take them out, and we were then able to sweep around the flank and just roll up the enemy defenses, which were still oriented towards this area. Even when we were already attacking over here, there were still infantry sitting at the hedge over here, AT guns watching that direction, a machine gun watching that direction. The AT gun here never moved, so some inflexibility on the AI's part caused this to be easier for me than it probably should have been. But it would have taken me at least, I guess, half an hour more to mop up what's left of this village. I could have. It would have cost some more casualties, but we would have mopped it up, and we probably wouldn't have lost a single tank doing it, because I don't think they've got any Piats here. I'm not sure if the Canadians used it, but they must have. Must have had some kind of, yeah, they had some kind of AT. One more Piat team here, which might have caused casualties. That's about it. That's all I got. Yeah, that was an okay battle. I think given a little bit more time, it would have been a total victory, but unfortunately we weren't able to pull that off. The Panthers really had a field day today. This guy, 15 kills, a Wolverine, 5 kills, 2 kills, 13 kills, and a Wolverine. The StuGs probably also contributed, yeah, 7 kills, 1 kill, none, and 3. So those were our main hitting power here. The infantry did get some kills as well, but not nearly as many as the tanks. These tanks really were the force multipliers here, and they enabled what little infantry I had to be somewhat effective. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.